Every revolution begins with an idea and ends by changing what humanity believes is possible. Tesla began as a small startup in a rented office. Two engineers, a dream, and a conviction that the future should run on electricity. Today, that idea has become one of the most influential forces of the 21st century. Tesla is no longer just a manufacturer of vehicles. It is a producer of energy, a pioneer of autonomy, and a symbol of transformation. Its name carries weight far beyond the realm of automobiles. It represents the daring belief that progress should never wait for permission. When history looks back at the early decades of this century, Tesla will not be remembered solely for its cars. It will be remembered for changing the narrative of what innovation could be. For decades, the automotive industry moved in predictable cycles, small evolutions, familiar designs, safe decisions. Then Tesla arrived. It moved fast, broke norms, and treated risk not as something to avoid, but as a necessary companion to discovery. It forced the world to rethink the very nature of mobility. The combustion engine, once the unchallenged king of the road, now feels like an artifact of another era. Governments across the world have set dates to end gasoline sales. Major automakers, once skeptics, now build electric fleets. And it all began with a company that most experts said would fail. Tesla's impact cannot be measured only in numbers. Cars sold, batteries produced, factories built. Its true legacy lies in how it shifted the global conversation. It made sustainability desirable. It turned technology into culture. It proved that disruption could come not from massive corporations, but from relentless visionaries willing to take impossible risks. Even its controversies, its flaws, and its unpredictability are part of that legacy. Because Tesla never claimed perfection, only progress. And progress, by its very nature, is messy. Elon Musk remains the most polarizing figure of this saga. To some, he is a modern Edison, a genius with the courage to build what others only imagine. To others, he is reckless, impulsive, unpredictable. But one thing is undeniable: his presence changed everything. His leadership style defied convention, demanding, ambitious, at times chaotic, but always driven by a singular belief that the future belongs to those who build it. He once said, "I'd like to die on Mars, just not on impact." That sentence, half joke, half prophecy, captures the essence of Musk's philosophy that humanity should always reach farther than safety allows. Under his direction, Tesla became a company that doesn't follow the path, it creates it. Every new product, every bold announcement, feels less like a release and more like a statement. The Cybertruck defied design logic. The Optimus robot defied human expectation. The supercharger network, Dojo AI system, and Megapack grids are pieces of a puzzle that point toward something far larger than any single vehicle. Tesla's master plan was never just about cars. It was about building a sustainable future where technology and nature coexist instead of collide. And that vision continues to evolve. The future Tesla imagines is one where transportation is fully autonomous, powered entirely by renewable energy, supported by an intelligent global grid, where cities breathe cleaner air, where energy is decentralized and abundant, where technology serves humanity quietly, efficiently, and intelligently. But beyond the machines, Tesla's greatest contribution may be psychological. It redefined what people believe a single company and a single person can achieve. Every generation has its symbol of innovation. For the early 20th century, it was Ford. For the mid-century, it was IBM, Boeing, and NASA. For the digital age, it was Apple and Google. For the age of sustainability and automation, it is Tesla. Its journey is not over. The road ahead is filled with challenges, from competitors catching up, to political headwinds, to the ever-present tension between vision and execution. But that is the nature of pioneers. They walk roads no one else dares to walk. Tesla's future will depend not only on technology, but on leadership, adaptability, and the continued ability to inspire. Because in the end, innovation is not just about machines. It's about belief, the belief that human beings can shape their destiny rather than wait for it, and that belief, once ignited, never fades. When the world looks back a century from now, it will see Tesla as more than an automaker or an energy company. It will see it as a turning point, the moment when humanity began to pivot away from the past and face the future without fear. A company born from risk, driven by vision, and powered by the quiet hum of electricity, the same force that Nikola Tesla once dreamed would illuminate the world. That dream is now alive, pulsing through highways, cities, and skylines around the globe, and it carries a name that began as a tribute to an inventor and became a movement that changed everything. This is Tesla. This is the future. Success is never simple. And at Tesla, success came hand in hand with pressure, the kind that tests not just a company's strength, but its soul. By the mid-2020s, Tesla stood as one of the most valuable companies in the world. Its cars were cultural icons. Its factories had redefined manufacturing, and its CEO had become one of the most recognizable and controversial figures of the century. But power always brings challenges. Tesla's rapid rise had created expectations almost impossible to meet. Every delay, every accident, every tweet became a headline. Every misstep carried global consequences. The company was under constant scrutiny from regulators, investors, competitors, and the public. Autopilot crashes sparked investigations. Labor practices drew criticism. Market analysts questioned whether Tesla's valuation could ever be justified, and at the center of it all stood Elon Musk, a figure of both admiration and controversy. For Musk, Tesla was never just a company. It was a mission, a crusade against complacency, fossil fuels, and the limits of imagination. He often said, "When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor." That philosophy had carried Tesla through its darkest years. But now it had to guide the company through the challenges of success. Tesla's global expansion came with growing pains. Building gigafactories in multiple countries meant navigating new regulations, political climates, and cultural expectations. Delays in Berlin frustrated European customers. Production ramp-ups in Austin and Shanghai pushed teams to their limits. Yet, the results were undeniable. Tesla's production numbers continued to climb, reaching into the millions. It had achieved what once seemed impossible, scaling electric vehicle production globally. While most competitors were still catching up, but competition was growing. Every major automaker, from Volkswagen to Ford, from Hyundai to GM, had announced their own electric revolution. The same companies that once dismissed Tesla were now racing to replicate its success. New startups, inspired by Tesla's model, emerged from China, Europe, and the US. The EV industry was no longer Tesla's alone. It was a global battlefield. Tesla's advantage, however, wasn't just its products. It was its ecosystem. Its supercharger network had become the backbone of EV travel. Its software updates kept vehicles years ahead of rivals. And its brand loyalty bordered on devotion, a rare phenomenon in the automotive world. But even as Tesla expanded, it struggled to balance innovation with consistency. Quality control became a recurring challenge. Reports of panel gaps, paint issues, and software glitches surfaced online. Some owners complained. Others defended Tesla fiercely, arguing that perfection was secondary to progress. Meanwhile, Musk continued to push boundaries. He was dividing his time between Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, the Boring Company, and eventually X, the rebranded Twitter platform he acquired in 2022, for any other leader. Such divided attention might spell disaster. For Musk, it only amplified his myth, a modern-day industrialist navigating multiple revolutions at once. Still, Tesla's culture was shifting. The company's early spirit of scrappy innovation was evolving into something more structured, but also more demanding. Employees spoke of long hours, relentless goals, and the constant drive to deliver what seemed impossible. Tesla had become a symbol of what could be achieved when vision meets execution. But it was also a reminder that even visionaries face limits, human, logistical, and ethical. One of the most ambitious projects was full self-driving, or FSD. Musk promised that Teslas would soon drive themselves, turning cars into fully autonomous vehicles. The technology was groundbreaking, powered by neural networks, computer vision, and massive amounts of data collected from millions of cars on the road. But progress was slower than expected. Regulators raised concerns. Critics accused Tesla of overpromising. The public debate over autonomy, responsibility, and safety grew louder. For Musk, the goal wasn't just convenience, it was survival. He argued that autonomous vehicles would drastically reduce accidents, save millions of lives, and redefine transportation as we know it. And yet, the road to that future was full of obstacles. Software is unpredictable, human behavior is complex, and the world's infrastructure wasn't built for cars that think. Still, Tesla pressed on, releasing beta versions, gathering data, improving algorithms. For its supporters, each update brought the world closer to full autonomy. For its critics, it was an experiment being run on public roads. Through all of this, Tesla's brand power remained unshaken. Its fans saw the company as a symbol of courage and change, the first automaker in generations to inspire genuine excitement. For them, Tesla wasn't just about cars. It was about the future of humanity. As the decade progressed, Tesla continued to evolve. The Optimus robot project, an AI-powered humanoid design for labor and assistance, revealed Tesla's next ambition, the automation of work itself. Many saw it as science fiction. Musk saw it as inevitability. In interviews, he often spoke about his deepest motivation: to ensure humanity's survival in a future dominated by artificial intelligence. In that sense, Tesla's AI efforts were not only about cars, they were about creating systems that aligned with human values before AI surpassed human control. This is what set Tesla apart. It was not merely chasing profits or market share. It was chasing a vision, a grand narrative about the destiny of civilization, and like every great story, it was filled with tension. Tesla's ascent was not without mistakes, but it had already proven something extraordinary. That one company, powered by relentless innovation and belief, could shift the entire direction of an industry. As the world entered a new era, one defined by automation, sustainability, and artificial intelligence, Tesla stood at the intersection of them all. It was no longer just a carmaker. It was the heartbeat of the technological age. By the early 2020s, Tesla had achieved what few thought possible. It wasn't just an automaker anymore, it was a global movement. Every new Gigafactory that rose from the ground became a symbol of the new industrial age, powered not by oil and steel alone, but by data, software, and electrons. Tesla's expansion was breathtaking in speed and scale. The Gigafactory Shanghai was followed by Gigafactory Berlin in Germany and Gigafactory Texas in Austin, massive facilities that embodied Tesla's new philosophy of vertical integration. Instead of relying on traditional suppliers, Tesla began producing more and more components in-house. Batteries, motors, even seats, everything was designed and built under one roof. It was an approach that defied convention but gave Tesla control over quality, innovation, and cost. Each Gigafactory was a self-sustaining organism, a living ecosystem of automation and human ingenuity. And it wasn't just about cars anymore. Tesla's energy division was expanding rapidly. The Powerwall and Powerpack allowed homes and businesses to store solar energy for use at night, while Megapack installations began stabilizing electrical grids around the world. These projects marked Tesla's quiet revolution in the global energy sector, a transformation often overshadowed by the spectacle of its vehicles. For Elon Musk, this was always part of the plan. Tesla was never just about building electric cars. It was about building the future infrastructure of civilization, a future powered entirely by renewable energy. In this vision, solar roofs would capture sunlight, power walls would store it, and electric vehicles would use it, all seamlessly connected through software. Tesla wasn't merely selling products. It was creating an ecosystem, a closed loop of clean energy generation, storage, and consumption. But Tesla's ambitions didn't stop at Earth. Through SpaceX, Musk was pushing humanity toward Mars. He often described Tesla's mission and SpaceX's mission as two sides of the same coin, one ensuring life was sustainable on Earth, the other ensuring life could exist beyond it. Both, in his mind, were essential to humanity's long-term survival. As Tesla's global footprint expanded, so did its influence. The Cybertruck, unveiled in 2019, was unlike anything the automotive industry had ever seen. Sharp edges, stainless steel exoskeleton, and an unapologetically futuristic design. Critics mocked it. Fans pre-ordered it in the hundreds of thousands. The Cybertruck wasn't just a product, it was a statement. It said Tesla would never conform. Meanwhile, the Tesla Semi aimed to revolutionize freight transport, promising lower operating costs, instant torque, and zero emissions. If successful, it would transform one of the most polluting sectors of the global economy. But with expansion came complexity. Tesla now had hundreds of thousands of employees, factories across continents, and operations spanning cars, batteries, energy, and AI. Managing this scale was unlike anything the company had faced before. Regulators scrutinized Tesla's autopilot program. Labor advocates questioned working conditions. Investors watched every tweet, every move Musk made, knowing it could move markets. And yet, through every controversy, every challenge, Tesla kept building. Its ability to deliver, even under pressure, had become its most defining trait. While competitors struggled with bureaucracy and legacy systems, Tesla's culture of relentless innovation gave it an edge no one could replicate. The company continued refining its vehicles. The Model Y became one of the world's best-selling cars. The Plaid Model S broke records for speed and performance. And Tesla's software became as important as its hardware. Over-the-air updates added features, improved safety, and even unlocked more performance. No other automaker had anything like it. Tesla had turned the automobile into a digital product, one that could evolve continuously without being replaced. At the same time, Tesla's brand had become a cultural phenomenon. Owning a Tesla wasn't just about driving an electric car. It was about belonging to the future. Fans created communities, influencers documented every update, and investors coined the term Teslaonaires as the company's stock soared to unprecedented heights. By 2021, Tesla had joined the trillion-dollar club, a valuation once unthinkable for a car company. But Tesla was no longer a car company. It was a symbol of innovation, risk, and reinvention. Still, Musk's ambitions were far from satisfied. He spoke of a world where every car would drive itself, where cities would be powered by solar, and where humanoid robots would handle dangerous or repetitive work. The line between science, fiction, and reality was fading, and Tesla was the company making it happen. But Tesla's story was also a story of contradictions. For all its technological triumphs, it faced criticism for quality issues, delays, and communication missteps. Its leader, Elon Musk, became one of the most polarizing figures on the planet, admired as a visionary, attacked as a disruptor, and yet, despite all of it, Tesla continued to grow, defying gravity, breaking rules, and rewriting industries one by one. Its journey from a small startup to a global empire wasn't just a story of technology. It was a story of belief. Belief that the impossible could be built, belief that the future could be better, and belief that even one company could accelerate the pace of human progress. As Tesla entered the mid-2020s, the question was no longer whether it could survive. The question was, what would it do next? Would it perfect autonomy and change the nature of driving forever? Would it reshape global energy grids? Would it build the foundation for life on Mars? The answers were still unfolding. But one thing was certain: Tesla had already changed the world, and in doing so, it had changed what the world believed was possible. By 2020, Tesla was no longer the underdog. It had gone from a struggling startup to one of the most valuable companies in the world. Its market capitalization surpassed that of century-old automakers. And yet, for Elon Musk, success was not a destination. It was merely another starting point. The Model 3 had proven that electric cars could be mass-produced and profitable. But Musk's ambition extended far beyond the electric vehicle. He envisioned a future where software would define transportation, a world where cars would drive themselves. This idea wasn't new. The dream of autonomous vehicles had existed for decades, but Tesla's approach was different. While others relied on expensive LiDAR sensors and external mapping systems, Tesla chose to build its autonomy from the inside out using cameras, neural networks, and millions of miles of real-world driving data. At the heart of this vision was autopilot, Tesla's semi-autonomous driving system. When it first launched, it was a marvel. The car could steer within lanes, adjust speed, and change lanes automatically. Over time, Tesla updated the software through over-the-air updates, giving cars new abilities overnight. This was Tesla's true innovation. Its cars weren't static machines, they were living software platforms, evolving long after they left the factory. But autonomy was not without controversy. As drivers grew more reliant on autopilot, accidents occurred, sparking debates about responsibility, regulation, and the ethics of machine-driven mobility. Critics argued Tesla was over-promising. Musk countered that progress required risk, that every update made the system smarter and safer. Tesla doubled down. It launched Full Self-Driving, or FSD, a software package designed to push autonomy even further. Owners who opted in became part of Tesla's massive real-world testing network, feeding driving data back into the company's AI systems. Each mile driven, every turn and brake, became part of a collective brain teaching Tesla's neural networks how to navigate the complexities of human roads. For Tesla, autonomy was more than a feature, it was a philosophy. Musk believed that once vehicles could drive themselves, the entire concept of car ownership would change. Cars could work while their owners slept, generating income as part of a vast robotic fleet. It was a vision that blurred the line between transportation, technology, and economics. Meanwhile, Tesla's hardware was evolving just as rapidly. The company introduced the Model Y, a crossover SUV that quickly became one of its best-selling vehicles. It shared much of its design with the Model 3, allowing Tesla to scale production efficiently. And as Tesla grew, so did its reach. New Gigafactories rose in Berlin, Texas, and beyond, massive cathedrals of automation designed to produce not only cars, but also batteries, solar panels, and energy storage systems. Each Gigafactory was an ecosystem of innovation, driven by the belief that the future would be built on electrons, not oil. The company's expansion wasn't just industrial, it was philosophical. Tesla's energy division, Tesla Energy, was quietly transforming how people thought about electricity. With products like the Powerwall and Solar Roof, Tesla envisioned homes that powered themselves, charged their cars, and fed energy back into the grid. It wasn't just about clean transportation anymore, it was about a sustainable world. As Tesla grew, its valuation soared. By late 2020, Tesla was worth more than Toyota, Volkswagen, and Ford combined. Investors saw it not merely as a car company, but as a technology revolution in motion. That year, Tesla was added to the S&P 500, solidifying its place in financial history. For Elon Musk, it was a milestone but not a victory lap. He was already looking ahead to what came next. Tesla's research into AI and robotics began accelerating. Musk spoke often about the potential of general artificial intelligence and how Tesla's real-world AI systems could one day extend beyond vehicles. This led to the creation of the Tesla bot, later known as Optimus, a humanoid robot designed to perform repetitive or dangerous tasks. While still early in development, Optimus symbolized Tesla's evolution from an automaker into a company, shaping the frontier of technology itself. Yet even as Tesla reached new heights, challenges loomed on every side. Competition was intensifying. Traditional automakers, once skeptical, now poured billions into their own EV programs. Dozens of new startups emerged, eager to capture a slice of Tesla's market. But Tesla's greatest advantage remained its data, infrastructure, and brand. Millions of cars on the road were continuously gathering information, improving Tesla's AI with every trip. Its supercharger network had expanded to thousands of stations worldwide, forming the backbone of global EV travel. And its brand, bold, futuristic, and unmistakable, had become a symbol of progress itself. Still, the future of Tesla depended on more than innovation. It depended on trust, on execution, and on the company's ability to navigate the turbulence of global expansion. In 2020 and 2021, Tesla faced global supply chain disruptions, factory shutdowns, and criticism over working conditions. But the company adapted with remarkable speed. When others slowed production, Tesla rewrote its software to use alternative chips, keeping its assembly lines moving. That agility became its defining trait, proof that Tesla was not just a manufacturer, but a living organism, capable of evolving faster than anyone else. The world had entered the electric age. Governments set deadlines to ban gasoline cars, and Tesla stood at the center of the revolution it had helped ignite. But even as it dominated, Tesla was changing. The company's growth brought new responsibilities: ethical, environmental, and social. Its success story had inspired millions, but also sparked debate about leadership, wealth, and power. And at the center of it all was Elon Musk, a man whose name had become inseparable from Tesla's identity. Loved by some, criticized by others, Musk remained Tesla's most powerful asset and its greatest enigma through triumphs and controversies. One thing was clear: Tesla had not just built cars. It had built the blueprint for a new industrial age. But there was still more to come: new vehicles, new technologies, and new frontiers that would test the very limits of imagination. The next chapter would take Tesla beyond cars, beyond Earth, and into a world where energy, automation, and intelligence converged into something entirely new. By 2015, Tesla stood at a crossroads. The Model S had redefined what electric vehicles could be, and the Model X had shown that luxury SUVs could also run on electrons. Yet Tesla's mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy was still incomplete. The company had proven that electric cars could excite the wealthy. Now it had to prove they could reach everyone. That ambition took form in a single vehicle, the Model 3. The Model 3 was meant to be the car for the masses: a sleek, affordable sedan with the technology and performance of a Tesla, but at a price that millions could afford. It wasn't just another model. It was the embodiment of Elon Musk's secret master plan. But bringing the Model 3 to life would push Tesla to its absolute limits. The announcement in 2016 was unlike anything the automotive world had seen. With no finished cars, just prototypes and promises, Tesla began accepting $1,000 deposits for reservations. Within a week, over 325,000 people had placed their trust in and their money into Tesla's vision. It was a stunning moment. The Model 3 wasn't just a car. It was a cultural event. But the road from prototype to production would be brutal. Musk famously declared that Tesla would build hundreds of thousands of cars a year, using cutting-edge automation to make the process faster and cheaper than ever before. What followed became known as production hell. Robotic arms jammed, conveyor belts broke, assembly lines stopped and started, costs spiraled. Tesla struggled to ramp up production, often sleeping only a few hours as Musk camped inside the factory, pushing engineers to find solutions on the spot. Many predicted Tesla's downfall. Analysts said the company had overreached, that it would never be able to mass-produce cars profitably. Short sellers bet heavily against its stock, believing bankruptcy was inevitable, but Musk refused to give up. He believed that Tesla's challenge wasn't mechanical, it was psychological. The company had to believe it could do what no one else had done. He famously said, "It's okay to have all your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket." Slowly, painfully, the pieces began to come together. By 2018, Tesla had achieved what once seemed impossible. The Model 3 was rolling off the line in volume, its production numbers climbing week after week. The company opened new lines in giant tents outside the Fremont factory, hand-assembling cars when automation failed. It was chaotic, improvised, and utterly driven by willpower. When the first customers received their cars, something remarkable happened. The Model 3 wasn't just good, it was revolutionary. It combined affordability, speed, range, and design in a way no other electric car had. Its minimalist interior, anchored by a single large touchscreen, symbolized Tesla's software-first approach. No buttons, no clutter, just technology and motion. Tesla had done what many thought was impossible. it made the electric car desirable and accessible. The Model 3 became one of the best-selling EVs in history, a symbol of change not just for Tesla, but for the entire auto industry. The success of the Model 3 transformed Tesla from a risky startup into a true global automaker. But it also came at a cost. The relentless pressure had exhausted Musk and his team. At times, the company came within weeks of collapse. Musk would later recall, "We were within single-digit weeks of death." Yet somehow, Tesla survived. And survival was only the beginning. The company's next phase wasn't about building one car, it was about building an ecosystem. Tesla began expanding beyond vehicles, developing solar panels, energy storage systems, and the supercharger network that made long-distance electric travel possible. Tesla wasn't just an automaker anymore. It was becoming an energy company, a vision that reached far beyond cars. The Model 3 had proven that electric vehicles could be mass-produced and profitable. But the world was still skeptical. Traditional automakers were entering the EV race, armed with decades of experience and billions in resources. Could Tesla keep its lead? In response, Tesla didn't slow down. It accelerated. The company unveiled the semi-truck, promising to electrify freight transport, and the Roadster 2.0, boasting speeds that defied belief. Then came the Cybertruck, a radical, angular, stainless steel design that broke every rule of automotive aesthetics. The reaction was polarizing. Some called it genius, others called it absurd. But it didn't matter. Once again, the world was talking about Tesla. At the same time, the company was expanding its manufacturing footprint around the globe. The Gigafactory Shanghai marked a historic milestone, the first time a foreign automaker had been allowed to build a wholly owned factory in China. It was built in record time, less than a year from groundbreaking to production, and it quickly became one of Tesla's most efficient plants. The move cemented Tesla's place in the world's largest EV market and demonstrated the company's unmatched ability to move fast and scale. By 2019, Tesla's fortunes had reversed. After years of doubt, the company finally achieved consistent profitability. Its stock began to climb, and the short sellers who had once bet on its failure started to lose billions. Tesla had not only survived production hell, it had emerged stronger, more confident, and more dominant than ever. The Model 3 was more than a car. It was a statement. It said that electric vehicles weren't the future, they were the present. And Tesla was leading the charge. But Elon Musk wasn't done. Not even close. His eyes were already on the horizon: autonomous driving, full self-driving AI, global energy grids powered by solar, and the dream of a sustainable planet powered by technology. Tesla's transformation from a fragile startup to a global powerhouse had taken less than 2 decades. But what came next would determine whether Tesla would remain a pioneer or become a true empire. The next chapter would be about autonomy, innovation, and expansion at scale. It would be about building not just cars but the future itself. By 2010, Tesla had survived what should have destroyed it. The company was small, fragile, and far from profitable, yet it had something most automakers lacked: belief. The Roadster had proven that electric cars could be fast, beautiful, and thrilling. Now Tesla needed to prove they could also be practical, luxurious, and scalable. This next step would define the company's destiny. Elon Musk and the Tesla team knew that to be taken seriously, they couldn't remain a niche startup selling expensive sports cars. They had to build a car that could compete head-to-head with the giants of the industry. A car that could carry families, redefine expectations, and stand as a statement that electric vehicles were not a fad, they were the future. The answer came in the form of the Model S, unveiled in 2012. The Model S wasn't just another electric vehicle, it was a technological declaration. With sleek lines, a minimalist interior, and a massive touchscreen at its center, it looked like something from the future. Its performance defied logic: over 250 miles of range, instant torque, and acceleration that humbled high-end sports cars. The world took notice. Reviewers called it the best car ever tested. Motor Trend awarded it Car of the Year, not for being an electric car, but simply for being the best. Suddenly, Tesla wasn't a novelty, it was a legitimate automaker, disrupting an industry that had changed little in decades, but success didn't come easily. Building cars was far harder than software. Production lines broke down. Suppliers failed to deliver. Quality control issues plagued early deliveries. Elon Musk later described the experience as production hell, yet through it all, Tesla persisted. Musk's relentless drive became legendary. He was known for sleeping on factory floors, obsessing over details others ignored, pushing his engineers past exhaustion in pursuit of perfection. Tesla was no longer just building cars, it was building an identity. The Model S became the company's flagship, the embodiment of its mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Its design philosophy, elegant simplicity combined with software-driven intelligence, was a glimpse of where the entire industry was heading. At the same time, Tesla was reinventing how cars were sold. It bypassed traditional dealerships entirely, choosing instead to sell directly to customers online and through company-owned stores. It was a bold move that angered established players but gave Tesla full control of the customer experience. And then, in 2010, something unprecedented happened. Tesla became the first American car company to go public in over half a century. The IPO raised $226 million, giving the company a lifeline and a powerful vote of confidence from investors who believed in Musk's vision. Still, the challenges were immense. Each car cost Tesla more to make than it sold for. Profitability remained a distant dream. But Tesla's success wasn't measured in short-term gains, it was measured in momentum, innovation, and the ability to inspire. Behind the scenes, the company was already planning its next move, a grand strategy Elon Musk called the secret master plan. The plan was simple, yet audacious. Step 1. Build a high-end sports car to prove that electric cars could work. Step 2. Use that money to build a more affordable luxury car. Step 3. Use the profits from that to create a truly mass-market vehicle. And finally, Step 4. Provide the world with sustainable energy solutions. The Model S was Step to Tesla's bridge between niche innovation and mainstream acceptance. But for the vision to truly take hold, Tesla needed to go bigger. Much bigger. The company began constructing the Gigafactory, a massive facility designed to produce batteries at an unprecedented scale. Batteries were the heart of Tesla's future, and Musk understood that controlling this supply chain would be the key to survival. The Gigafactory wasn't just a factory, it was a symbol of Tesla's ambition to reshape global manufacturing and energy production. As the years passed, the Model S evolved. New variants offered longer ranges, faster acceleration, and features that seemed almost magical, like autopilot. Tesla's semi-autonomous driving system that could steer, accelerate, and brake on its own. Autopilot was a glimpse into the future, where cars would no longer just move people, they would think for them. It was also controversial, as accidents and regulatory scrutiny followed. Yet, Tesla continued to push boundaries, arguing that the only way to perfect autonomy was through real-world experience. By the mid-2010s, Tesla had achieved what once seemed impossible. It wasn't just competing with established automakers, it was redefining them. Traditional car companies began scrambling to catch up, announcing their own electric programs and hiring entire teams to study how Tesla had done it. But Tesla's story was still in its early chapters. The Model S had made it a leader in the premium segment, but Musk's true dream was mass adoption, a car for everyone. The next chapter would test everything Tesla had learned. It would demand even more innovation, more risk, and more belief. That chapter would be written with the Model 3, the car that would either fulfill Tesla's mission or end it. Tesla's story begins long before the name itself became a symbol of the electric future. In the early 2000s, the automotive world was trapped in a century-old rhythm, roaring engines, fossil fuels, and an industry reluctant to change. Electric cars existed, yes, but they were seen as toys for environmental dreamers, not the machines that would move the world. The promise of the electric vehicle had always been simple: silent power, instant torque, and zero emissions. Yet, every attempt to bring that vision to life had failed. Crushed by high costs, poor range, and the relentless dominance of gasoline. But in 2003, in a small office in Silicon Valley, a group of engineers decided to challenge that story. Their goal wasn't just to make another car. It was to prove that electric vehicles could be faster, more efficient, and more desirable than anything on the road. Among these founders were Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, two engineers who believed that battery technology had reached a turning point. They named their company Tesla Motors in honor of Nikola Tesla, the visionary inventor who once dreamed of a world powered by electricity. The early days were filled with idealism and uncertainty. The company had no factory, no large team, and no clear path to profit. What it had was ambition and a belief that innovation could rewrite the rules of an industry worth hundreds of billions. When Elon Musk joined Tesla as an investor and chairman after leading PayPal, he brought with him both money and vision. Musk didn't just see Tesla as a car company. He saw it as the first step in transforming the world's energy economy. The first car, the Tesla Roadster, would become the proof of concept, a luxury sports car that could travel hundreds of miles on a single charge. It was built on the chassis of a Lotus Elise, but everything beneath was pure innovation. The Roadster's battery system, made of thousands of laptop cells, was an engineering gamble that changed everything. In 2008, the first Tesla Roadster hit the road. It wasn't just fast, it was revolutionary. With a 0-60 time of under 4 seconds and a range exceeding 200 miles, it shattered the myth that electric cars were slow and impractical. But behind this success, Tesla was burning through cash. Production delays, technical setbacks, and internal disagreements pushed the company to the brink. Many doubted it would survive. Then came the 2008 financial crisis, a storm that nearly destroyed even the most established companies. For Tesla, it was an existential threat. Investors pulled out, suppliers hesitated, and employees worked without knowing if they'd have jobs the next day. Elon Musk later described that time as the worst year of my life. He poured his own fortune into keeping Tesla alive, even as his other ventures, SpaceX and SolarCity, struggled to survive. But Tesla endured. Against all odds, it shipped the Roadster, earned its first customers, and proved that the electric future wasn't a fantasy. It was here. That moment marked the beginning of something much larger, not just a car company, but a movement that would challenge the very foundation of transportation and energy. The Roadster was a symbol. The world was watching, and what came next would change everything.